51 cedis per bag.
When the environment or the situation is good, we can come down on prices. All that we need is just to ensure that, the parameters, the production costs are just reasonable for us to stay in business. But like I said, and I'm repeating myself, I know my members, and I know the discussion that we've been going through with the Ministry of Trade and other relevant stakeholders in the country. Manufacturers of cement are not happy at all.
All right, so I'm sure you're all getting ready for the Christmas. That's if you've not already started. And here in the Greater Accra region, a lot of people would have trooped to the beaches. However, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartey, has ordered the immediate closure of all beaches in the capital despite pleas by operators of these beaches for them to be open during the Yuletide. The minister has also instructed transport operators to stick to the no mask, no boarding of commercial vehicles in the region.
With immediate effects, all beaches in the Greater Accra region should be closed before and during the Christmas and New Year festivities. Effective Saturday, 25th December, all passengers without face masks must not be allowed to board any means of public transport. All persons moving in public places must ensure that they wear their face masks and observe all the COVID-19 safety protocols in public places.
So that directive has been greeted with quite some mixed reaction because a number of people had really planned to take the celebration to the beach. But is that really the way to go in helping curb the spread of COVID-19 this festive period? Richmond Aite is public health analyst with the School of Public Health of the University of Ghana. He's joined us on phone to help us with some answers to this. Good evening, Mr. Aite, if you can hear me. Hello, Mr. Aite, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Great. Thank you for your time. To start with, how does the shutting of beaches, for instance, help in the fight against the spread of the COVID pandemic? Hello, Mr.
The line is not clear, so I can hardly hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. And if you can move away from your TV set, I'm sure we can get a better connection to your line and you would hear us clearly. Is it better now?
Hello, I can hardly hear you.
All right, so we'll rework the line and hopefully we can get a better connection to you. My producers will quickly want to try and get a connection to you. Mr. Aite, he's a public health analyst. And this stems from the fact that churches are still going to be working, pubs and clubs, although there is a directive for a closure or a seizure of them operating. We know, you and I know, that when you step out on the street of Osu right now, people are out reveling. However, beaches have been shut or there is an order for beaches not to operate. We're also told that if you're going to board public transport and you don't have your nose mask on, you should not be allowed to board. But that and the fact that people are still going to be meeting in groups and events happening even as we speak around major parts of the country, how does the fight against COVID, the closure of the beaches work in the fight against COVID? We'll try and get some answers to that when we do get Mr. Richmond Aite on a better connection, hopefully. Away from that, it's Christmas Eve, and ideally on this day, it is normally characterized with a lot of traveling. Judith Awachitanda, my colleague, has been visiting some lorry terminals in Accra to observe the travel situation, especially in these times of COVID.
It's the 24th of December. This particular day is marked with many travels as people love to travel from Accra to other regions in the country. But with the many complaints from the public about the state of the economy, will this year be marked with as many travels as previous years? Well, I'm here at the Circle VIP station and I will be finding out.
Last year by now,
Last year was much better, but this year business isn't going well at all. There's no money in the system. That is what is affecting us.
It is going well. A lot of people have traveled this week.
Some passengers, however, were not too happy about the travel situation. I don't have money. Although I'm traveling, this money is all I have. The economy is bad.
I am young, but the economy is affecting me.
We spotted officials from the Ghana Health Service who had pitched camp at the station where they administered vaccines to commuters. According to them, the process was smooth.
We've been coming here for the vaccination, and the reason behind it is because people weren't coming to the health facilities to get vaccinated. And we get mass numbers here when we are vaccinating because people get to travel almost every day. And we know hawkers are around and they can vaccinate. And it's pretty good because in a day we could vaccinate like 100 people.
Contrary to the situation at the VIP station, fares at the Circle Neoplane station remain the same as that of last year. Even though the fares have not been increased, business was generally slow compared to previous years.
Because of
business is very bad. The fuel prices are high. The roads are bad and the COVID has also set in. It's very bad.
And the problem of drivers no power.
Some angry travelers complained they had been sitting in the buses for over 2 hours waiting for other travelers.
Up to now.
It's very bad. We were here at 8 a.m. It's 11 and the car has still not moved. There's no money in the system, so no one wants to travel. Many have attributed the low rate of traveling this year to the economy as well as the influx of the Omicron variant. Judith Awachitando, TV3 News.
Let's try again to see if we have a better connection to Mr. Richmond Aite. Good evening again. Can you hear me now? Hello,
yes,
Mr.
I
Aite.
can hear you.
Great. My question is, definitely there are going to be a number of activities where people are going to be gathered. Government says it is closing the beach, so at least we slow down or prevent the spread of COVID. How much of an impact would that have in the fight, or how much of a boost would closing the beaches have in the fight against slowing the spread of COVID?
All right. So if you look at the statement that was put out by the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, they have mentioned basically the same guidelines that have previously been mentioned, including the washing of hands, wearing masks, and etc. I think the only thing that is new is the one about closing beaches. I am thinking of this in terms of the fact that when it is holidays and people gather at the beaches, there's usually people just a lot together. Apart from those who are in the water, there are also people congregating together. And in that close proximity, that's where the potential for transmission increases. Remember, they will be moving in vehicles to go there. And so there's a whole chain of opportunities for infection to occur. Maybe, and this is just the way I understand the thinking behind this, this may be the reason why the Regional Coordinating Council is saying let's not have beaches operating. But you need to look at it within a broader context. So what about other places where, people are congregating?
Right.
That also then could become other opportunities. So if we are dealing with one side, what have we seen about the beaches that make them unique? So there, I think it's a bit unclear.
Okay.
Maybe the enforcement protocol that is going to be used would let us know how that is going to work. But
right.
I think it is a step in the right direction. It's just the way it is being applied just for the beaches. That's a bit unclear why the focus of the beaches alone.
Right. My next question would be that in 2020, December 2020, there were similar restrictions like you mentioned. When the festive season ended, our COVID cases shot up. In fact, there were spikes in almost every country, every region, I should say. There is a possibility of a similar occurrence now. What would you say about the attitude of Ghanaians towards these measures government is putting in and the observance of the protocols?
I think this one is very clear. So if you go around the city right now, especially in the big towns, but also in rural areas, you see people have sort of gotten through a process where they were beginning to learn how to, get used to wearing the mask and following the protocols. And then it's sort of like things got relaxed.
Right.
And so now it will take a while for people to learn how to do. So currently, we wouldn't say that we are at an optimum level of following the guidelines. I think that government what has been released is timely, but it could have been earlier.
Right.
So that people learn the process of how do you protect yourself. And then it should also be sustained. As long as we are in this pandemic and it hasn't ended, we need to find a way to sustain the messaging and communicating the risk. Right now people have low risk perception. And I hope that the conversation we are having and other such conversations will help people to remember that we are still in a situation which is unusual, so that they will be able to take the necessary protections.
Right.
But it's a challenge that we will all have to face.
Thank you very much. And clearly, I think we all have a role to play in this. Merry Christmas to you, actually. Richmond Aite is the public health analyst with the University of, with the School of Public Health under the University of Ghana. Your safety is your responsibility. The state is making its effort. You need to also up your effort in making sure that you are safe throughout the festive season and beyond. Still news at 10 on TV3, the Christmas Eve edition. Stay with us. We have more for you after this break.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Official post, because official post, nobody. It's all about Franco Trading Enterprise. For Papa, the BBI, fear. Tell them when you know that you do growing at Charlie called Franco. Or Charlie and Charlie.
And then better TV, 55 inches. And then better laptop and a phone. Wow.
So what do you have to tell Franco?
They should continue their good works. We are grateful for the surprise. We will keep coming.
But then Franco, the top phone, the
Made the Franco phones. I hear I am the Tommy. And of course, no see a papa.
Hey, Moranava.
Franco Trading, Mama Fisher.
Collaborating with other artists will help us push the culture more.
Allowing everybody to bring their interests into the same space.
We want to be heard, and we want the world to know that we've connected everybody.
There's certain reaches that I might not be able to reach, but collaborating with the next artist might get me where I need to go.
People who just really believed in themselves and believed in similar things came together and joined, and that is fireworks.
African creatives are integral to the reshaping of our cultural imaginations.
I believe it's just easier building one vision when we're all together.
This advert is FDA approved. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years of age. Not recommended for pregnant.
Welcome back to News at 10 on TV3. Now, 15 bank accounts of Egyptian Hospital Engineering Group, Eurojet Invest, have been frozen following an $8 million judgment debt awarded against it over 2 abandoned hospitals in the Ashanti region. The Accra High Court also confiscated movable and immovable assets of the engineering group to defray the judgment debt owed to one of its subcontractors, with a threat by top international lawyers to attach all receivables of Eurojet from government to defray the cost. Here's a report by Komla Kruche.
The International Court of Arbitration in London of the International Chamber of Commerce ordered the firm constructing a number of hospitals in Ghana, Eurojet, the Invest SA, to pay one of its subcontractors, Top International Engineering Ghana Limited, more than $8 million, representing outstanding balance and interest. The dispute between the two firms is in connection with the 2 hospitals being constructed by Eurojet, the 500-bed military hospital at Afari, Kumasi, and the 60-bed hospital in Konongo, both in the Ashanti region. Top Engineering provided engineering services at the military hospital at a contract sum of more than $12 million, but Eurojet paid it $7.5 million. On the hospital in Konongo, Top Engineering said the contract sum was more than $7.5 million, but Eurojet paid it $4.8 million. In 2017, Top Engineering dragged Eurojet to the Accra High Court, claiming breach of contract and seeking payment of the balance of the contract sum. On October 2017, the High Court stayed proceedings and ordered that the case be sent to an arbitration panel of the Ghana Institution of Engineering for determination, which in September 2018 gave an arbitration award in favor of Top Engineering. Eurojet rejected the decision and served Top Engineering with a notice of dissatisfaction. The court ordered a freeze of Eurojet's account, with a little over $700,000 realized to defray the cost. The court also added that all movable and immovable assets, vehicles, and other property